Welcome to Channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so as all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Alright, over the weekend, I have received this new publication from the Grattan Institute. Now, you may notice that I have been talking about the Grattan Institute for many times because Grattan Institute is actually a very important institution that they provide strategic advices and recommendations to the government of Australia, and in a lot of occasions that the Department of Home Affairs or Immigration does take the recommendations from Grattan Institute. So what they have actually advised is actually very important because they have they got a lot of scholars, researchers giving out inputs of what Australia as a nation should really move forward. But I must say this, that Grattan Institute is not a government officials, so whatever they recommend might not be the actual policies in the future, but it does take a weight for the government of Australia to actually take the advices. Perhaps they will implement it. Now, over the weekend, they have published this so-called the Orange Book, and it does provide a range of factors that the government of Australia should, as a nation, should really move forward into the future. And there's a little part in regards to the immigration or migration trend or the recommendation that they foresee. Now, we're going to take a look at that part, and I'll provide some of my thoughts and the comments that I believe they will actually do it or not. So anyway, let's jump in there and have a look. You may Google and find this information yourself as well. So this is from Grattan Institute, as you can see, the Orange Book 2025. So this whole Orange Book basically will focus on the policy priorities for the federal government. So what the government of Australia really need to do. So there's a section there talking about migration. In fact, it's actually all of the sections or all the sectors really relate to migration. So as you can see, it's actually very important for migration to actually push the trend and the growth as a nation for Australia. So let's just jump into the actual nitty-gritty of the section that they talked about migration. So this is actually on page 26. So apart from all that, you may want to download and have a good read about all these details there. But in page 26, it says improved skill migration. Let's go through that. So skill migration delivered a huge economic benefit to Australia, and their rooms a boost of their benefits. The current program is slow. Yes, it is. Look at this. This is the key word they should put in bold. I mean, there's just so much of delay, but it's also causing the so-called the housing crisis. Well, never really is caused by the migration. But anyhow, it's slow. Yes, I'm totally agree with this. It's expensive. Yes, doesn't always select the most skilled candidate. Correct. Pretty sure on this one. Many migrants face barriers of Australia maximizing their potential and or reside here for no prospect of getting permanent residency. So that's the real problem here. So a lot of people come to Australia, but they don't seem to be able to stay further. The government has made some progress improving the system, including abolishing business innovation and investment program. Yes, that's a big program. And now the opposition leader is talking about perhaps bring it back, but I as my from my research analysis, I don't think they will, but they will do something different rather than bring the BIP back. Reforming temporary visa and tightening conditional temporary graduate visa. The next government should, now here we go, that's the key here. There's only a short section here that we're gonna go through, and then I'll provide my thoughts. That's the whole book only consists of this page 26. It's actually important towards the migration. All right, how are they going to boost the economy from the skill migration? By the first point here. Now let's have a look at that. It says reforming the point test by allocating visa migrants who are likely to make biggest economic contribution to Australia. So that's pretty straightforward. Now we're still waiting for that new point test system to be out, and if you want to know more about that system, I've done a specific video on that one. It's basically aligned the same. They're giving more credits towards the annual incomes level, and also they have different points towards different age. I think it will be more precise and easier to actually identify a better candidate. So that's the new point test system. Should be out this year. If that doesn't come out, well, then that will really be the problem of this program. It's just too slow. They just I don't know. That's just Australia, the nature of Australian government. Okay, the second one, abolishing state and regional point test visa, expanding numbers of skill independent visa grant each year. Now, I'm not too sure if this one will really be implemented, because if they really abolishing the state nomination, can you imagine? And they solely rely on the skill independent. Can you imagine? Then everybody would just go to all the skill migrants would just go to Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and ditch all the other places. So I think state and nomination, state and territory nomination will still be there, and there is a real need for Australia as a nation to actually expand its regional migration, because the previous form that was amended by the former government, that's when Peter Dutton was the Minister of Home Affairs, didn't really work out, because they made subclass 494 and 491. It's just not attractive compared to the recent changes under 482 and also other visas. So they really need to do some revamping and put some innovative ideas towards the state nomination. Otherwise, I don't think they will actually follow this, because if they re-abolish the state and regional point tests, then that means no one would like to go there. And imagine the university in central Queensland, Townsville. What about Adelaide? Adelaide is considered in regional. No one want to go to Adelaide anymore. What about Perth? Perth is considered regional as well, so no one want to go to Perth anymore. But look, those places still need skilled migrants. So I'm not too sure why they put this one here. If they really abolish the state or regional point test system, then you will see all the international students and skilled migrants just jump into Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, and then that will cause another housing crisis, wouldn't it? So I'm not too sure how the researchers resulted with this recommendations. Anyway, making permanent employment sponsor available to work in all occupations. All occupation provide the job pay at least 900,000 per year. Now, look, currently they got a specialist pathway. That's for anyone that's in almost any occupations with a salary over 130,000. So they're talking about dropping it down to 90,000 and provide them a permanent visa straight away. I'm not too sure if this will work, because that will actually opens up a lot of loopholes for a lot of bad players to be in there. So not too sure how this will actually work. And temporary employment sponsor visa for all those earning at least 75,000 per year. So that's pretty similar to the current system, because the current system is 73,150 bucks. I think that's not too far from 75,000. So that's the same as currently, but they are talking about temporary for all kind of earnings. But anyhow, I think the occupation list is still vital, because they basically talk about abolishing the whole occupation list. I'm not too sure how that will work, because they have actually the current core skill occupation list. They already got 456 or 465. I'm not too sure. It's that almost include every occupation already. So anyhow, maybe because they think if it's covering all occupation, might as well just remove the occupation list. Perhaps, not too sure. Investing more attract attracting skilled migrants to Australia, supporting them when they, I think that's, well, every country is doing that, but investing more, but investing in where, on marketing side or not. And further on, it says reform skill recognition process. So all this 3 paragraphs is talking about, it's they basically talking about how slow and lack of the current skill assessing authority. I totally agree. I was gonna do a specific video talking about how crap the trade recognition Australia is, how crap the Australian Computers Society is, because first of all, it's too lengthy, slow, and not accurate. It's cutting out a lot of people's working experiences. Check out the TRA currently, the process about 6 months or almost a year. It just doesn't make any sense. So they should have a they should have a centralized occupation registration, rather than, if they already hold registration, why would they still need to go through skill assessment? It doesn't make any sense. For example, registered nurses, if you got RN license, why do you need to go through MAC again? That's just redundancy. So they're removing that. And also, for example, the teachers registration, every state have a different registration. Should they consolidate and make a federal registration work for all states and territories? So that's basically what they recommend is. So I think that one will actually be pretty good, but I don't know how the federal government or the Department of Home Affairs could actually consolidate with the Department of Education and all the state government altogether. That will be a pretty big job, consider to just do a point test system there. Anyhow, that's for the Orange book published by the Grattan Institute over the weekend. So should you have more question, query, or whatever you think of, leave a comment right down below. I'll see you next video. Goodbye.